Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Come Grow Spiritually with me. This is my tarot series. My name is Pamela of Unimed, formerly a social worker, mental health, and special education, transitioning into holistic practitioner. So this series has been designed for those of you that are interested in learning about tarot and exploring your spiritual journey. I'm not an expert. I'm not a guru. I am coming into tarot fresh with very little knowledge. I'm also a researcher and an educator, so I am always researching anything that I do. So I thought that while I was bringing tarot into my life and adding it to my spiritual practices, that I would share what I'm learning with you all in hopes that those of you who are interested in learning can learn from the research that I've done. And also to help inspire those of you, hopefully inspire those of you that are interested in walking a spiritual journey. So that is why I make this series. So I appreciate all of you that have been showing me support and love and coming back and watching. I so appreciate you. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy the series. Okay, getting into today's question. I want to give a disclaimer. My question is going to be seeking guidance about how I can better manage some of the increased brain injury symptoms and migraines that I'm having, especially in preparation for my trip that I'm heading off to in 2 months. I know that the travel, the new climate, the sights and sounds and wanting to be able to socialize and do activities while I'm there is going to be very challenging and overwhelming for me. In full disclaimer, I'm starting to get a little bit of anxious about how well I'm going to be able to manage. So today I thought that I was just going to go ahead and ask Source how I can best manage the increase in symptoms that I'm having, which makes sense because I've been returning more to doing some work and returning to my social life. So all these increases are going to trigger the increase in my symptoms. So today I'm asking how best I can support myself physically, emotionally, and spiritually during this time and leading up to my trip and through my trip. I would say do not ever ask the cards or a psychic or anyone other than a medical professional for medical advice. Okay? I'm not so much asking for medical advice today. I have a team that I know that I can contact, and I've got about 5 or 6 years of managing brain injury and specifically my symptoms under my belt. So I feel like I'm just asking for guidance on what more I can be doing to support myself, and perhaps I may have to reach out to my medical team. And if that's the case, then I will do so. But again, I don't want anybody to ignore something that they feel might be a medical concern. If you're experiencing symptoms that you don't understand what they are, or you feel like there might be a medical issue happening, please, please, please contact a medical professional and seek their advice and guidance, okay? They are the experts, and you need to start there first. Okay, so with my disclaimer out of the way, today we're going to go ahead and I'm going to ask my guides, what guidance do you have in helping me manage my brain injury symptoms and migraines while I prepare for my upcoming trip? So how best can I support myself physically, emotionally, and spiritually? And I'm going to do a 6-card pull. Card number 1 is going to be my current energy. So what my body and spirit is experiencing right now. Number 2 is going to be the root cause. So what's contributing most to my symptoms. Number 3 is going to be self-support. Like how can I best care for myself? Number 4 is going to be travel preparation. Like how can I support myself leading up to my trip? 5 is going to be during the trip, guidance for during the trip. So what do I need to know to minimize my stress? And then 6 is going to be an overall guidance. So let's get into the cards. Okay, today we pulled the Two of Cups, the Moon, the Ten of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles. So let's get into the message. All right, so in position number 1, we pulled the Two of Cups. So this is my current energy, and the keywords for the Two of Cups is partnership, harmony, mutual support, and alignment. So I think this card is suggesting that my body and spirit are asking me to work with myself and not against myself. This card likely shows that I'm being invited into a deeper self-partnership. So listening to my body as though it's a trusted ally. Now, I've gotten really good at learning to listen to my body. I never used to. But I know that my body is constantly sending me signs and symptoms, and that if I can listen to them and follow through and give it what it needs, then I manage much better. More recently, I've been increasing my workload. I've been increasing my social engagements with other people. So I am pushing through a little bit more. Little bits. So I'm trying to walk that balance between pushing through a little bit to build bigger tolerance and listening to my body and giving it what it needs. So I think I'm being reminded that I need to make sure that I am continuing to be an ally to my body and to listen to my body, and that although pushing through a little bit to build some tolerance is okay, I might be overdoing it just a little bit because I'm creating deadlines in my head of when I need to get things done, or I don't want to miss out on things. So I'm starting, I guess, to fall back in a little bit of old patterns that way. So I think this is a reminder to make sure that I'm trying to walk that balance properly. Okay, the root cause, we pulled the Moon card, and the Moon card is about confusion, cycles, illusions, subconscious, and hidden influence. Okay. This is likely meaning that my migraines are strongly tied to cycles, which I know. Not to be TMI, but definitely tied to my menstrual cycle, emotional cycles, and energetic. And I'm going to tell you 100% I am connected to the energy cycles of the moon. So it's not lost on me that the Moon card is presenting here and that the Moon card is about cycles, because I deeply feel those. Okay, so the Moon suggests that there may also be subconscious stressors or hidden triggers, like screen time, which I've increased, hormones, which definitely as a perimenopausal woman experiencing, and even some anxieties about the trip. So these are likely amplifying my symptoms, and which makes sense because I am starting to have a little anxiety about how I'm going to manage during the trip. So I need to catch those thoughts and release it and remind myself that I have a plan, I guess. I need to, if I can bring that anxiety down a little bit, then it will be less of a trigger. And again, coming back to the balance of listening to my body and saying, you know what, my brain is telling me that I need to shut down from screen right now. So I'm not recording my video, or I'm not working on that course that I'm creating or the support group that I'm working on. Like, I need to take a break. Okay. In self-support, I pulled the 10 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Pentacles is about stability, long-term health, family support, and resources. Okay, sounds good. So I think this is about building a foundation of routines and support systems. So I feel like I'm being encouraged to lean on my family, friends, and my community, and perhaps to explore long-term strategies like holistic care, medical support, and consistent routines, rather than short-term fixes alone. Okay. You need to build a stronger foundation. I am a Reiki practitioner who has gotten out of the habit of practicing Reiki daily on myself. So I need to rebuild that foundation into my life because it's definitely going to help. And I know this. Medical support. I'm having this debate in my head about returning to one of the pain medications that I used to be on. I was on a lot of pain medication for a long time. And I have some personal issues and hang-ups around medication. But I might need to reevaluate that. Okay. Strong foundations, routines, and support systems. That is how I'm going to help myself. Okay, I need to give that more thought. In the travel preparation, we pulled the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands is all about success, breakthrough, success, preparation, recognition, and achievement. So I think this is saying that if I prepare well, my travel can and will be successful. I feel like this card is assuring me that victory is possible if I plan ahead. So like medication, comfort items, rest windows, like planning and scheduling, like when I'm going to rest throughout the day, what activities I'm going to miss out on so that I can make sure that rest is a priority, and that I'll manage my trip better than I think I'm going to. So I think Source is saying, relax, it's not going to be as bad as you think it's going to be because, listen, you have all the tools. And if you plan properly and you're a planner, Pam, then you will go through this trip highly successful. So that's helping my anxiety for sure. Okay, during travel, we got the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Swords is about clarity, breakthroughs, mental sharpness, and new perspectives. Okay, so I need to stay clear and decisive. I need to communicate my needs to my friends who I'm traveling with and to myself. The Ace is suggesting that I may find a breakthrough in how to manage my migraines during this trip. Well, that's interesting. Perhaps a new tool, a medication adjustment, or supportive practices come into clarity. We literally were just talking about this. Okay. I just need a minute because listen, I knew this. I knew all this before I pulled the cards. I really did. I don't know why I struggle with myself so hard. But that's, I guess, part of the process of learning to trust my intuition and trust that I know what I know and that I know what I need to do. And that I need to stop having to constantly seek reassurance or validation that I know what I know. Okay, sorry, that was a side note for me. I'm excited that perhaps I might learn a new tool. I mean, maybe there's something over there, or I will run into some kind of service provider or somebody with way more experience on this trip that's going to bring a new tool into my life. So I'm excited for that. Okay, and for overall guidance, we get the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is about patience, steady progress, evaluation, and long-term growth. So this card is reminding me the overall guidance is that healing is a process, which I know. And this card is reminding me not to rush in decisions, like increasing medication suddenly. Interesting. Without reflection and guidance. So evaluate what's working, plant seeds of better long-term management, and trust your progress. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and seek some medical guidance. I'm going to book an appointment with my doctor. I'm going to speak with my pharmacist. Because one of my thought processes is that maybe I go back on a medication for another couple months while I'm increasing my workload and preparing and going on this trip. But again, I struggle with that so deeply because I have some personal opinions around medication and they're mine, right? I don't think that other people should have the same viewpoint that I have. I'm not entirely sure where that viewpoint comes from, so perhaps that's something that's needed for exploration. But, and if I was to go back on the medication, I'd probably go back to where I was at when I stopped taking it, which would be a relatively high dose. So, I am going to seek some guidance. And I'm going to do some more reflection and evaluate like what's working, right? Maybe if I return to my daily practices of Reiki and I do a better job of listening to my body, I may not need to reconsider adding one of my old pain medications back into my routine. Okay, so when I sum everything up, the moon card is telling me that my symptoms are closely tied to cycles and hidden triggers. Many of the cycles I'm very much aware of. And because I know the cycles and when they happen, that if I increase the tools I have to support myself during those times, that I'm going to manage far better. That was just a download that came to me, or an insight, I guess. Okay. So again, I have the tools to see myself both through my daily life and this trip. That's being told to me through the 10 of Pentacles and the 6 of Wands, and that I'm being encouraged that with a balance of preparation and practice, so creating supportive routines, making clear decisions, and trusting my body's wisdom, that I'm going to be successful on this trip. I think the cards are also telling me that medication may be a part of the plan, maybe, but that I better not rush into this, that I need to do some evaluation. I also need to speak to my pharmacist and my doctor to help me in my evaluation process about whether or not that is a tool that I will be using. And that's coming to me from the 7 of Pentacles, and that this is all about ensuring harmony with my overall healing journey through the 2 of Cups. So I think I'm being reassured that with preparation and clarity, that I will be able to enjoy my trip without being sidelined by my symptoms. So I'm grateful for that. I feel like lighter. I feel like that anxiety that I've been carrying the last couple days as the trip has been approaching just like melted away. So I thank all of you for watching. I so appreciate your support. If you feel like it resonates with you, I encourage you to like, subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, and share. I would appreciate it. And also, I love when we communicate and we engage. So I'm going to ask you, what is one self-care practice that you rely on when your body needs support? Because I'm always looking for new suggestions to try, and something that you suggest, well, mostly anything that you suggest, I'm probably going to try, because I'm always about trying new things and picking up new tools to put in my own toolbox. So please go ahead and let me know, what is one self-care practice that you rely on when your body needs extra support? Thank you all, and I wish you a very blessed day.